Hey nerds, it's Sunday, September 1st, the 36th week of 2024, and I'm running down what's coming up this week, starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan. As always, if you want to jump ahead of the intro to see what's coming up on any day of the week, there is chapter links below. All right, let's get started. Today, Sunday the 1st, we have Snowpiercer, Season 4, Episode 7. The title of this episode is A Moth to a Flame. The description of this episode is Leighton learns who was responsible for the experiments on Josie and Liana before also finding out who froze the world. Big Alice approaches Eden but can't cross the booby trap bridge. We also have the 8th episode of Emperor of Ocean Park. The description of this episode is following the tragic events of 2003, the judge looks to Jack Ziegler to exact a plan of revenge. Industry, Season 3, Episode 4, entitled White Mischief. Description of this one is deeply in debt with a new home and a baby. Rishi takes a massive gamble after a surprise visit from an old friend. Later, with his luck running out at both home and work, Rishi engages in another high-risk, high-reward opportunity that could threaten his job at Pierpoint. All right, on Monday the 2nd, we have Futurama, Episode 6 of Season 12, Attack of the Clothes. Description here is the professor's fast fashion clothes are a smash hit, but an environmental disaster. On Tuesday this week, we have a new episode of Only Murders in the Building, Episode 2 of Season 4, The Gates of Heaven. The description is Mabel and Oliver begin investigating the Arconia's West Tower and get trapped inside of ominous game. Meanwhile, Charles is visited by two individuals from his complex past. There is also a movie coming out on VOD on Tuesday called Black Outside. Description here is That's for White People, a phrase that infuriated Gary Wilkinson Jr. as a young black kid wanting to do outdoorsy things like camping. He wasn't old enough to understand that it was a warning passed down from generations of black Americans who weren't permitted to explore the outdoors for fear of being killed. To confront his inherited fear, Wilkinson turns the cameras on himself to document his experience as he challenges himself to conquer the Pacific Crest Trail, a grueling 2,600-mile hike from Mexico to Canada. Also on VOD on Tuesday is The Well. A budding art restorer travels to a small Italian village to bring a medieval painting back to its former glory. Little does she know, she is placing her life in danger from an evil curse and a monster born of myth and brutal pain. So on Wednesday, we have the 8th episode of Season 2 of The Ark, entitled We Don't Kill Our Own. The ship is taken under siege and the crew must outsmart the Mutineers to save themselves. We have the final episode of Sunny, Episode 10, The Dark Manual. After learning the truth, Susie fights for what matters most. We have the 7th episode of Woman in Blue. The Azulas turn their attention to unsolved murders, hoping to find a connection to the undresser. This episode is entitled Dora. Bad Monkey, Episode 5, entitled That Damn Arm Is Back. Yancey makes a crucial realization as he goes into hiding. The Dragon Queen asks Egg about Neville. All right, so on Wednesday, we also have the Season 4 premiere of Slow Horses. This show about MI6 spies put out to pasture. I haven't seen the third season, but the first and second season are really good. I don't know if we're going to be able to cover this because I haven't seen the third season, like I said, but I should definitely check it out if season 1 or 2 or any indication. Hopefully the quality didn't dip in season 3. And on Wednesday, there is a movie going to stars called The Imaginary. A woman returns to her childhood home to discover that the imaginary friend she left behind is very real and very unhappy that she abandoned him. All right, on Thursday, we have the 4th episode of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Paul and I reviewed the first 3 episodes last week. I have seen episode 4 and 5 already, and we'll probably record a review and breakdown of that tomorrow to be released on Thursday. The season's gotten off to an okay start. See if it ramps up from there. On Thursday, we also have Reasonable Doubt, Season 2, Episode 4, entitled Primetime. Chanel gets interviewed from jail, causing Jack's panic attacks to return as we take a look back at JT and Chanel's relationship. Meanwhile, Lewis learns Spencer's new interests at school. There is a movie on Netflix called Apollo 13 Survival. Apollo 13 Survival is a cinematic retelling of the iconic space story. In 1970, NASA faced the greatest crisis in its history. 3 astronauts halfway to the moon on a spacecraft that had suffered a catastrophic explosion. I believe this is a documentary. Also on Thursday is the beginning of the Toronto Film Festival. The Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF, is back in 2024, running from September 5th through the 15th, with an impressive lineup of world premieres and international debuts. Some of the most anticipated films include Angelina Jolie's war drama Without Blood, Michael Lee's Hard Truths, and Daniel McKenzie's thriller Relay, starring Lily James and Riz Ahmed. The festival will also feature a variety of genres, from the dark comedy Night Bitch with Amy Adams to the animated film The Wild Robot featuring Lupita Nyong'o. TIFF remains a key event for both industry professionals and film lovers, offering screenings, live discussions, and the renowned People's Choice Award. On Friday, we have the third episode of the second season of Pachinko, entitled Chapter 11. The description is: Sunja and the children flee Osaka, only to find their new location has its own challenges. Solomon's past leads him to new beginnings. Still haven't been able to cover this. We had a lot of shows and also movies over the last couple of weeks. We'll try to cover it if we can fit it into the schedule. And on Netflix, we have a movie called Rebel Ridge coming out, and X-Men grapples his way through a web of small town corruption when an attempt to post bail for his cousin escalates into a violent standoff with local police sheriff. Don Johnson is in this, and this stars Aaron Pierre, but it was supposed to star John Boyega, and he dropped out, so I guess we'll see what happens here, and we'll see how the movie turned out. In wide release this week, we have Beetlejuice. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. I'm gonna go to press screening for this on Tuesday, and we'll probably have a review out on Wednesday for this movie. Also in wide release is The Front Room. It tells the story of a newly pregnant couple who are forced to take in an ailing, estranged stepmother. This stars Brandy. I have spoken to the folks at A24, and I'm trying to get a press screening for this movie as well. Hopefully I'm able to see it this week, and then I can do a review of this also. I'll be right there with Edie Falco. Brenda wants to take care of everyone in her life. She barely has time for herself. Not that she would know what to do with it anyway. In more limited release, we have Continue. A depressed girl attempts suicide, but gets admitted to a mental institution involuntarily. She finds friends, love, and a new outlook on life, but learns some choices are irreversible. She has one life to live. In theaters in limited release on Friday is also His Three Daughters. This tense, touching, and funny portrait of family dynamics follows 3 estranged sisters as they converge in a New York apartment to care for their ailing father and try to mend their own broken relationship with one another. This is a Netflix film that'll be on Netflix on the 20th. I'll try to get a screener of this to actually review this movie. We're running up into award season movie, so this is probably an award movie. Natasha Lyonne and Elizabeth Olsen are in this movie. Next up is Hoard. The story follows Maria, a teenager whose mother used to be a hoarder. Now, set in the 90s, she lives in a foster home where a previous resident, Michael, inspires her to revisit her childhood memories and passions that she repressed. Look Into My Eyes, a documentary through a series of intimate sessions with psychics and their clients. The trailer for this actually looked pretty good, even if you're not a believer in psychics. Red Rooms, a model becomes obsessed with a high-profile murder trial. Thicket, Texas, a boy who, after his sister is kidnapped by a violent killer known only as Cutthroat Bill, enlists a fierce bounty hunter named Reginald Jones, who becomes the leader of a group of outcasts searching for the stolen girl. So Peter Dinklage is in this one. This is a Tubi movie. And finally on Friday, we have a movie called Fly. Over 7 years, 3 couples involved in extreme sports of base jumping test the limits of love and life itself, risking everything for the thrill of the jump. Their dedication is put to the ultimate test. So this is going to be on IMAX, and the last time I checked, it was coming out on Tuesday, which is what the poster says. But when I checked most recently, it said it's going to come out on Friday. So you want to probably check your local listings. Finally, on Saturday, we have the end of the Venice Film Festival. As I said last week, it's running through the 7th, so there'll probably be updates all this week on what's debuting there. All right, so that's it for this week. If you want us to cover any of the productions we aren't covering already, comment down below. And if we get enough requests, we'll try to work it into our production schedule. And if you found this video useful, be sure to like and share and subscribe to make sure you don't miss our next update, our analysis, reviews, or news coverage. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.